Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Retro Wrestling Review Series. I'm here with
Chris.
And I'm Owen the Birdman Finch. We're both pretty much the co-hosts of this. Actually, I think I pretty much host this show, though, because I've done a few episodes without you and stuff. So,
Yeah.
none of that. So, yeah, you're not the co-host, so I could have started this then a long time ago, actually. So,
Damn it.
Yeah, so I remember that for next time. But, yeah. We're here to give you guys the Retro Wrestling Review Series. We were supposed to do it last week. I don't remember why we didn't. We just didn't. So, I feel like sometimes we've just pushed things off so much we don't remember why we didn't do them. So,
Exactly.
there was a reason we didn't do it last week. I just forget what the reason is. So, sometimes.
I know why.
Huh?
I know why, because I couldn't be home.
Oh yeah. It's always on you, isn't it?
Like
you can't ever if you're not in your own house surroundings. But although we did find out that when people film stuff away from their house, it doesn't really work out very well.
It doesn't work out at all.
So
as you can tell by our disaster wrestling rundown episode that we had.
Yeah, but it seems like everything's working fine today. This is kind of like a little bit of a test video, so there's that. But yeah, we're here, though, to talk about the Retro Wrestling Review Series. And this time it was Chris's pick because I had the last pick. And Chris, why don't you tell everyone what you picked and why you picked this show? Even though you kind of did, but it's been a couple weeks now, so.
Nothing.
You didn't pick. We got to review something.
Wrestlemania 21 from Los Angeles, California.
Yep. You want to say why?
3rd, 2005.
You want to say why you picked it?
It's just a really good show.
I think so, yeah. We'll get into that because this is the first time I've watched this show. I've seen most of the matches on the card though because I have this DVD called the Greatest Superstars of Wrestlemania, and half of this card's on that DVD for some reason. So,
well, some of them are.
Well, yeah, but most of this card was on that show though. So it was most of this show. It was they had matches from WrestleMania 7. Actually, they had one match from WrestleMania 7, one match from WrestleMania 10, and then pretty much the whole card from WrestleManias 21 and 22. So it's I guess they wanted to get all those out there. So, they're yeah, these are WrestleMania 21 and 22. That was where the greatest superstars of all time wrestled. So, nowhere else or anything. So, yeah, I definitely think this was a great pick. Now, obviously, this was one of the WrestleManias where it had a theme. It was just weird. They just typically randomly pick a time they want to do a themed WrestleMania. WrestleMania
nowadays.
Yeah, we don't get that at all. The only one we got was that roller coaster one, but it didn't tie into the show at all, though. So,
well, technically, Triple H's entrance, I guess.
Yeah.
From 30.
Or yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
but
that was the only theme.
Yeah, this actually had a theme. It was pretty much the year that WrestleMania randomly decided to go Hollywood, even though they've been to California since then, and they didn't go Hollywood that year.
They haven't gone Hollywood.
I don't know why they decided to go Hollywood. In 2005, but this is when they had those skits where they would have superstars redo scenes from movies. And some of them actually were pretty funny. This is why I went to Wikipedia so that way I could pull it up. So obviously you had the Eugene one when he was Forrest Gump. That was really funny when he was playing.
That was wicked funny.
Tom Hanks. You had Triple H when he was in Braveheart playing the role of Mel Gibson, and Ric Flair made a cameo appearance, and Triple H is riding on that whatever that was supposed to be.
It was a donkey.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a horse, but a donkey.
But they would obviously they wouldn't reenact the actual scene. They would pretty much utilize the wrestling, roles with it. I think Triple H would talk about his match, whatever. But they probably filmed these before they even knew the matches at WrestleMania. So the one that I think is hilarious is the Pulp Fiction one with Eddie Guerrero. The Pulp Fiction's wicked funny. And Booker T. When they threaten these kids to go to WrestleMania and stuff, and Booker T reaches in his pocket he's gonna go for a gun and then pulls out the WrestleMania tickets, and you see Eddie Guerrero say, "We didn't even need to use these," and he accidentally fires it. Then you have the the Few Good Men with John Cena and JBL, where they pretty much redo that whole scene. You can't handle the truth. Which that was kind of weird because like the actual scene was supposed to be like a military thing, but JBL was talking about like Big Show had to lose a championship match and stuff like that. So the one that's really funny was the when Harry met Sally scene when Kurt Angle.
Oh my god, that's the best.
When Kurt Angle and Christy Hemme are like sitting down at like that diner or whatever, and Kurt Angle's like talking about his match at WrestleMania, and they utilize it like it's like a sex reference and everything. And then you had the Basic Instinct one where Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, and Christian are like disguised as like the interrogators, and they're interrogating Stacy Keibler and stuff. And then later on, Fabulous Moolah, which she can go fuck herself, but that's besides the point. And Mae Young come in, and it's Mae Young like shows her crotch, and everybody's like, yeah, you get away with it and stuff. And obviously you had the Dirty Harry with the Undertaker playing the role of Clint Eastwood, which I feel like if they were gonna do one with the Undertaker, it should have been something dead related, but whatever.
He could have just been on a bike instead.
No, we don't want that. We don't talk about that. So, no. Taxi. The best one I think of all of this though is Taxi Driver, where they do this scene. Are you talking to me? And Batista's trying to ask for his line, and the guy's like, "You talking to me?" And Batista's just getting pissed off and
talking to me.
Yeah, and then Big Show like
when Harry Met Sally one was those are the two best ones.
Yeah, and then Big Show like kept messing up, like his jacket would rip or the microphone would fall down or stuff like that. It was definitely it just showed how creative too WWE was back then. So even in 2005. So and then you had the celebrities that were there were David Arquette, but obviously that made sense for him to be there because he had been a wrestler before. So Motorhead, Adam Sandler was there. Rob Schneider, I don't know if that's how you say his last name, but
Schneider.
Yeah. Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, the Black Eyed Peas, Billy Corgan, which obviously he's synonymous with buying like TNA or whatever, so that's kind of funny. Not really, but kind of. Sylvester Stallone, Rick Rubin, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Ice Cube, and that's basically it. And obviously Brooke Hogan, but I don't think she was an actor at the time, so. And obviously, no, I don't think anyone would think of her as like as an actress because she was there because Hogan got inducted into the Hall of Fame that year. So it wasn't like she was there because like, yeah, we got celebrities, let's invite Brooke Hogan. I don't think they were thinking that at all. So
hey, they could have been. They could have been like, hey, this big celebrity Brooke Hogan.
Yeah, but it was definitely I like the set too where it looked like you were like, when they would come out, they would have it like in a movie theater, and anytime like the match, it said now playing. For example, the Money in the Bank ladder match or whatever. So the set was pretty cool. They came out like they were out, on a red carpet and stuff. So yeah, I liked the theme. I definitely wish they would do more like themed WrestleManias like this because I thought this one was pretty damn successful. So, but now on to the actual show itself. We had the dark match, and no. We used to think as kids they were doing matches in the dark. It was not the case. It was the match before they aired the show. So
incredibly dark match.
Yeah. And Taz and Michael Cole commentated this match. I don't think there was a reason. They just did. So they were just maybe they pulled straws and they got like the smallest straws and they're like, yeah, you guys are just gonna commentate this match, okay? And they did the Raw versus SmackDown Battle Royal. This was the first year they did this because they wanted to get everybody on the card. So they still did that then. And the people that were in this Battle Royal, let's see if you can remember these names. You had SmackDown's Cruiserweight Champion, Paul London. SmackDown's Heidenreich. You obviously remember him because we just reviewed a show that he was on. So SmackDown, Spike Dudley. SmackDown's Nunzio. SmackDown's Funaki. SmackDown's Doug and Danny Basham. SmackDown's United States Champion Orlando Jordan. SmackDown's Mel Jindrak. SmackDown's Luther Reigns. SmackDown's Scotty 2 Hotty. SmackDown's Hardcore Holly. SmackDown's Charlie Haas. SmackDown's Billy Kidman. SmackDown's Akio. And then obviously, I guess they put all the SmackDown and Raw guys like in order. I didn't realize that until I started reading it. So everybody else is representing Raw. Simon Dean, the World Tag Team Champions William Regal and Tajiri. Rob Conway. We obviously remember Rob Conway. Can't forget about him. He just wants you to look at him. So
just look at him.
Savon Greener. I don't know if that's how you say his last name, but
Grenier.
Yeah, something like that. Snitsky, the Hurricane, Rosie, Viscera, Rhino, Val Venus, Tyson Tomko, Maven, and then Monday Night Wars, Booker T, and SmackDowns.
How many are you going?
I'm going at I have to be there at 6.
6.
And SmackDown's Booker T. So yeah, that's everybody that was in the Battle Royal. And this basically was just like a big Battle Royal just to kind of like give people a taste of what they were going to get at WrestleMania. You know, some of the highlights of this. This was also more, you know, continuing that like feud where like Raw hated SmackDown and SmackDown hated Raw. I don't ever get why they do stuff like this with like the brand split. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, they just hate each other. It's a big hate fest.
Yeah. I guess like too, like, what if like, you know, your best, like, let's just say like one day like you're married and you went to different brands. Are you just destined to hate each other? Like, I guess you are. So
yeah,
like, you can't like each other. But I do like that they do this because you get to, in a way though, because you get to see like matches that you would never get to see any other time. But also too, there was like no match you were like dying to see. Like, I think the biggest star of the match was Booker T. So
it was. Everyone else was a fucking jobber.
Yeah. But yeah, highlights of the match though. Since Heidenreich was like, you know, off his nut and crazy, they did like a bit with him where he like put Hurricane's mask on and, you know, he became like a designated superhero or whatever. It was just really stupid. What else happened in this match? Chris Masters, this was when he started doing like his full Nelson, but they didn't call it the Master Lock at the time because I think Chris Masters was still fairly new to the company. William Regal looked good in this match. Rhino accidentally gored somebody from Raw, and he was representing Raw, so that wasn't good for him. What's really weird, though, with what they did about these Raw and SmackDown Battle Royals is they treat it like it's a team thing, but only one person could win the match, so I didn't get it at all. So, like, is it every man for himself, or is it like a team thing? It was just weird. But obviously, it comes down to Booker T and Chris Masters, and Booker T eliminates Chris Masters with his thrust kick, and it was, you know, it was fine. It wasn't anything I hated or anything, but I just don't really get. I thought it was poor utilization of Booker T on this show too. So, and it was just, you know, a match just to get everybody on the show. This is why sometimes not everybody needs to be included at WrestleMania. So that's just what I think. I gave this match 2 stars. What do you think?
It's like 1.5.
Yeah, like whatever.
There's like Booker T, like you said, biggest name there.
Yeah.
Like, not really anything.
And obviously where everybody is today, Booker T obviously was there until 2007. Ironically enough, I think he was like world champion the next year, so whoever would have thought that with this show. And then he left in 2007, went to TNA, came back in 2011, and has pretty much just been a panelist commentator with SmackDown GM. Chris Masters was supposed to get like this big push, but it never happened because he couldn't stay off the roids and stuff. And then he's pretty much been an Impact and other indie promotions. Paul London is still doing indies. Heidenreich shortly turned face after this, ironically enough, so there's that. And then obviously he was out of the company shortly afterwards. Spike Dudley, was he out of the company shortly after this 2005?
Yeah.
And then he's actually I think he's actually like is like one of the head managers of your favorite company ever, Top Rope Promotions. So there's that.
No.
Nunzio does indies. Funaki is one of the Japanese commentators. He wrestled up until about 2009, I think. Maybe 2010, but it was so the Bashams were gone shortly after this and went to TNA and haven't done much since. Orlando Jordan was gone. You know, obviously he lost his U.S. title in like embarrassing fashion at SummerSlam, and then he was pretty much gone shortly afterwards and went to Impact. Didn't that story come out too, like where he did like some weird stuff to like little kids? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
Yeah.
Okay. Because actually, if you go on his Wikipedia page, they don't talk about it at all.
Yeah.
March Indrak was shortly gone after this, and he actually wrestled in CMLL up until like 2017 ish. So and Luther Reigns was gone shortly afterwards, and now the recent thing you heard of him is he's retired and did that. You know, he was like one of the many wrestlers that like filed a lawsuit against WWE due to concussions. Scotty 2 Hotty pretty much was just there on a part-time basis. You'll still hear him occasionally. We're probably never really going to see him much because his tag team partner that he would come back with is dead. So, Hardcore Holly was there until 2008, and now he does indies. Charlie Haas was there until 2009, and now he doesn't. Actually, no, 2010, and now he does indies. Bailey Kidman's actually a producer backstage. I didn't know that until I looked it up. So, Akio, remember that legend, Akio? He was there up until 2010, and he was gone now. This is Simon Dean, too, before he started doing the commercial stuff, so he's gone now. William Regal is still there. He's one of the head talents of, like, NXT and stuff like that. Tajiri was gone shortly after this, and then recently came back for the Cruiserweight Classics, and now he's back. Is he still wrestling?
Yeah, he's in Japan wrestling.
And then Rob Conway, just want you to look at him. So, I believe he's still doing indies as well. Savon Greeno. I looked this up yesterday, but do you know what Savon Greeno is today?
No.
Okay. He's probably still wrestling. We'll just assume he's still wrestling. Snitsky recently retired. The Hurricane is a backstage producer for WWE. Rosie and Viscera both unfortunately passed away. Rhino's still wrestling. He was off and on and out of the company. He went to Impact, ROH, and stuff, but now he's in WWE. And like we talked about, he's pretty much been in every promotion at like its hottest period. So I don't know how. It's like Rhino knows when to go to like a promotion and stuff. So maybe he's going to AEW.
Could be, just like everyone else is.
Yep. Val Venus. I believe he's retired. He might still
marijuana. Loves marijuana, actually.
I think he's still actually. I actually think he's still wrestling actually. And then Tyson Tomko is indies, and Maven is indies. We talked about Maven, how he went through like a drug, not overdose, but a drug problem after this. So, yeah, that's where everybody is from the Battle Royal. So, I might have some of it right, might have some of it wrong, but you know, I did do the research. But then we had the actual show itself. We had the commentary team. Taz and Michael Cole commentated all the SmackDown matches, and Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross commentated all the Raw matches. Which obviously that makes sense. You never can go wrong with Taz and Michael Cole together on commentary, or King and Ross, unless they have to like commentate a show that like they never air that part of it. So, so then they had Lillian Garcia perform America the Beautiful. Because they do that every year. Did they do a national anthem last year? Because
yeah, they did.
I don't recall them doing that. So
they do it every year.
And then we had the because I already talked about the WrestleMania advertisement, so I put it in my notes, but then we just brought it up randomly, so we don't need to address that again. And I'll let you talk about this match first. It was a champion versus champion match. Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. Talk about the match and why it was taking place.
They were a tag team, but they were having like a best of kind of series in a way.
Yeah.
Where obviously, if you watched SmackDown 2005, you know it didn't end well for Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
But They were, a tag team, best of five. It was like they had like 3 matches, I think.
Yeah.
And I think this is the second of 3, I think, or this is the third, whatever it was. But
yeah.
Uh,
And they were doing that whole storyline too, where like Eddie Guerrero like couldn't beat Rey Mysterio and stuff like that too.
And that plays into like later on in the year.
Yeah.
Rey wins in just a phenomenal match.
Yeah, I agree with that. Really good opening match too.
Really good, very good opening match.
Yeah.
Just go out here, just watch it. This really, it's 2 of the best superstars of our generation.
Yeah.
Like, just go out and fucking watch it. Like, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it really is. And obviously, Ray gets the win with the roll up, and they shake hands afterwards. But obviously, this wasn't the end of the feud because obviously Eddie Guerrero turned heel. I think like right after the show, pretty much.
It was not that much longer.
Yeah, and he snapped because he got obsessed that he
pulverized them.
Huh?
Just pulverized Rey.
Yeah. I remember too, like he took his mask off. He was all
ripped
bloody.
It.
Yeah.
He ripped the mask like almost in half.
Yeah.
And he would take it and he would put it on his opponents after he had turned heel.
Yeah.
And he put it on his opponents, making them seem like they're Rey Mysterio, and he beat the living shit out of them.
Yeah. And I remember too, a lot of people I think like kind of trash this feud now because obviously like Dominic storyline. But I feel like this feud was actually really good up until that happened. Like,
yeah, it was excellent.
It's just that they decided to randomly throw in that Dominic storyline that
didn't make any sense. But if you look back on it, like it's still like a great feud.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, that pretty much led to that. How weird though! Like, I don't think anyone. If we went back in time and told everyone that Eddie Guerrero was gonna die 7 months later, you wouldn't have. I don't think anyone would have believed you. But
no one would have believed you.
Yeah, they probably would have said like, "What do you want, Eddie Guerrero to die or something?" Like,
his last WrestleMania, he really just kind of went out in grand fashion in a way.
Yeah, he did.
Match against Rey. And
yeah,
he had just turned babyface too, not long before his death.
Yeah, he did. Which I don't know. We still don't know what was gonna happen with that too. Like, was he just faking turning a babyface tone? Because
to get a championship match from Batista.
Yeah, we still don't know. Because I have a feeling that was probably going to be the direction of that storyline. So
yeah.
And then obviously Rey Mysterio, he wrestled for WWE. He won the world title the next year too. And he wrestled like full time for WWE up until 2014, even though he was kind of injured and stuff all the time. Winning many championships, and then eventually he went and did New Japan, Lucha Underground, AAA, and whatever other wrestling company he wanted to do. And eventually he returned. He just recently returned last October. So, and he's wrestling right now, and he still looks as good a shape now as he did back then. So
yeah, he arguably is in the best shape of his career. Like even like I shouldn't say his career, but back to his like early, like younger days.
Yeah.
In wrestling.
Yeah.
For someone who's like in their 40s, he looks phenomenal.
Yeah. And I thought this match was a pretty good opening match up to the show. I gave it 3 1/4. It's pretty damn good match.
Especially since that's a fucking opener when that's a main event like any other pay-per-view.
Yeah. What would you give this match as like a star rating?
I give it the same. Like it's just fantastic. Like you have to go out of your way to watch it.
Yeah. I do want to talk about too, it's definitely interesting watching the crowd because like the first like 3 matches on this card would have gotten like "This is awesome" chant, and I'm kind of glad we don't. I kind of wish we didn't have that because if you say "This is awesome" for like every match, it loses its prestige. But
it does, and nowadays especially
and especially too like the crowd kind of reacts like they're supposed to react. Obviously there's other reasons they don't react, but I feel like sometimes it's just the fans being smartasses sometimes, and like you didn't have any of that on. Because it wasn't like there wasn't hardcore fans there because it's freaking WrestleMania. So
yeah, but there was no "This is awesome" chants every 15 seconds.
And then you have the cabinet backstage. And this was like the final segment because they would do like these segments on like the Big Four where JBL and Triple H would just have random backstage segments. But it's obviously nice to have this stuff because we would never see them associate with each other. And they pretty much, talk about how why they're the better champions. Triple H thinks that JBL is a crappy champion, which he really was, but
yeah, but they really didn't have anything else.
Yeah. And JBL talks about how he's going to take care of the John Cena problem, and Triple H says that he's going to take care of the Batista problem, and we'll see who's at the end of the night standing as world champions. Spoiler alert, it was none of them, so that was kind of funny.
I just kept laughing like when I saw that because I'm like, yep, neither of them walk out as champion.
Yeah, so that was funny. And Orlando Jordan had the U.S. belt with him. He was in a suit and stuff because because he just was, so... but yeah, this was definitely a good segment. I thought I always loved watching the segments where like Triple H and JBL just like lay into each other, talking about how they were crappy champions and stuff. Because Raw is better than SmackDown, SmackDown's better than Raw. So, then we had the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match. It was Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit versus Christian with Tyson Tomko versus Shelton Benjamin versus Kane. This was only Raw edition because they were trying it out. And these were like the perfect 6 guys to try out this match with. Obviously, the reason this was happening was because... Actually, I forgot to write Edge's name in this match, actually. Edge was also in this match. I just realized that because that's a pretty big name to forget about in this match. So
I won it.
Yeah. I think I forgot to write it down, but yeah, it was versus Edge, too. Yeah, Chris Jericho in real life and in storyline came up with this idea to do a Money in the Bank ladder match where the winner would get a world championship match for like up until the next year's WrestleMania, up to a year now at this point. And obviously it made sense to have all these 6 guys in it. Everyone was kind of feuding with each other. Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit had a history with each other from their feud over the Intercontinental Championship in 2001, and they'd had a ladder match in 2001. Chris Jericho and Christian had a history since they were a tag team, and they feuded. They had a match actually the previous year at WrestleMania 20, and Chris Jericho and Christian also had the ladder match for the IC title.
And Christian too, also.
Yep.
Long-standing history
as a tag team and as the ladder match they had for the IC title and stuff. Chris Jericho and Shelton Benjamin had a history since Shelton Benjamin had taken the Intercontinental Championship from Chris Jericho at Cyber Sunday, Tabo Tuesday.
The same fucking show, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And then Chris Jericho and Kane had a history from their last man standing matches. Chris Benoit and Kane had a history with each other from the world title matches they had when Benoit was champion. And Edge and Chris Benoit also had a history with each other because when Edge turned heel, he actually attacked Chris Benoit to turn heel when he brutalized him pretty much. So everybody kind of fit to be in this match. So yeah, and obviously too, this is a great Money in the Bank ladder match. This is probably my favorite one out of the any of the Money in the Bank ladder matches. Obviously, the highlights included was Kane when he made his entrance. I always love watching that visual when Kane makes his entrance and the ladders are on fire right behind him.
Well, it is fucking on fire. That was awesome. That reminds me of his WrestleMania 20 entrance where the whole set behind him was on fire.
Yeah,
they used to do that cool shit with Kane during his entrance.
But that kind of sucked for them though because they didn't have they couldn't use any of the ladders though because they were on fire.
They can use the ones that were underneath the ring.
Yeah. And I actually liked in the match how everybody tried to attack Kane because obviously that made sense since he was the biggest threat of the match since he was the biggest one. And at first it doesn't work.
That was funny because he could he just got right back up and just beat the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
And he grabbed the ladder. I was like, oh, there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, Chris Benoit and Shelton Benjamin double suplex him on the floor. And then everyone, thinks that they've solved the Kane problem. So they just fight amongst themselves. They hit a lot of cool dives in this match. Shelton Benjamin hit a really cool flip dive. Chris Jericho hit the springboard drop kick, knocking Shelton Benjamin into Edge and causing him to fall on the floor. And Kane hit the his Kane like clothesline off the top, right on every. Speared Kane. Shelton Benjamin hit the really cool where he ran up on the ladder that was like set up towards the win and hit like a really cool clothesline right onto, I believe it was Christian or Chris Jericho. And Shelton Benjamin hit the T-bone suplex off the ladder right onto Chris Jericho. That was awesome. Kane tipped the ladder over while Chris Jericho was on it, and he fell outside the ring. They did like a callback to like Edge and Christian's like TLC matches they would have where they would like grab the ladders and sandwich Kane right into it. Chris Benoit did the diving headbutt off the ladder, which that's a cool spot, but obviously with what we know, Chris Benoit.
I watched it, and then they showed the replay, and I looked away. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I just can't watch that. It's too like, it's like almost gruesome in a way.
Yeah. And then everybody started fighting on the ladders, and the ladders got like knocked over and stuff, which that was really cool. Shelton Benjamin took like a nasty Irish whip right into a ladder. And then Kane trapped, because this is important because it ties into the finish. Chris Benoit's arm in the ladder, and he opens it and closes the ladder, and just destroys Chris Benoit's arm, so that way he couldn't climb the ladder and use his crossface because he had been doing that in this match. Tyson Tomko tries to help Christian win the match, but Kane takes him out with a choke slam and a big boot. And then the finish comes when Chris Benoit knocks Kane off the ladder. He goes to grab the Money in the Bank briefcase, because we could call it a briefcase because we could at this time, so that's nice.
It's on a contract. It's a briefcase.
Yeah. And Edge grabs a chair, hits Chris Benoit right off the arm, and he falls off the
brutal. That was so brutal.
Yeah. And Edge grabs the briefcase and wins. I probably missed like a lot of spots in this match, but really
just go watch it.
Yeah.
Just watch it. This whole pay-per-view is a must-watch, pretty much.
Not the whole thing, but yeah,
half of it.
Yeah, but this was definitely a great match. Obviously the right guy won because Edge was being pushed to like win the world title. He had just had like this is pretty much like opened up the door for his ultimate opportunist gimmick, because obviously at New Year's Revolution he cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase on Cena, which obviously that started the Money in the Bank cash-ins we know as today, where after the champion has like a match, they'll just cash it in. And Edge made that famous. And obviously Edge became like pretty much like one of the top guys in the company up until he retired in 2011. He has like a history of doing this. He's cashed it in also on The Undertaker. He also pretty much like any opportunity he saw, he took it because he's the ultimate opportunist. Obviously after this, he would blow off his feud with Chris Benoit in the Last Man Standing match at Backlash. He feuded with Kane over Lita, his kayfabe wife at the time. And obviously Shelton Benjamin will lose his IC title shortly after this. It's really disappointing that like Shelton Benjamin never got like the big push that he was deserved. So
yeah, they gushed over him and everything. Just like everything that they said about him was like true.
Yeah,
he said he's the best pure athlete in WWE history.
Yeah,
no, like I don't think anyone can really like top him in terms of pure athletes.
No way.
He's just he just had it all. He could do everything. They just they fucked him up like too far.
Yeah. And now it's too late to push him. He's in the company. It's so sad too. He's in the company, and I forget that he's there because he's just so irrelevant now. So
yeah,
we're not gonna say what Chris Benoit is, because if you're a wrestling fan, you know what
he's in hell.
Yeah, Chris Jericho. Obviously, this was like the end of his first WWE run, because he was gone in like 2005, and then he came back in 2007. Had his second run up until 2010. Which that might be the best run of his career, that 2007-2010 run. So, and then obviously he would pretty much come back, but now he's signed with AEW, which we don't know when he'll be back to WWE, if ever. So, and then obviously Christian, he was actually gone out of the company shortly after this too, because he left the company and went to TNA in 2006. So, and then obviously he went there. He came back in 2009 and won the World Heavyweight Championship, and he retired in 2014. So, yeah, everybody in this match too, except for Shelton Benjamin, benefited from it long-term wise. So, and obviously maybe Christian. I wouldn't say he didn't really benefit much from this match. So, but I still thought it was a great Money in the Bank ladder match. Definitely a must-watch. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was just great.
I agree. I get it's a phenomenal. It's just a phenomenal match.
And now you get to talk about. Actually, this segment actually is pretty fun. The Eugene. I don't know if you remember this. The Eugene segment.
Oh, Eugene, comes out and starts talking about his favorite WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
Midgets went and attacked King Kong Bundy.
Yeah.
And he said that he loves midgets.
Yeah.
Up comes Muhammad Hassan, the biggest heel in the company at the time.
Yeah.
An Italian portraying an Iranian, by the way. He's not even an Iranian descent. He's of Italian descent. That's why he had Sean Daivari, or Cosgrove Daivari, as he was known as that time, by his side.
Yeah.
Because Sean Daivari is of Iranian descent.
Yeah.
And he came out and said that he wanted his WrestleMania moment.
He's
beats up Eugene, put them in the camel clutch, and out comes, of course, Mr. America himself, Hulk Hogan.
As Hulk Hogan.
That makes the save.
Yeah, as Hulk Hogan, too. We got to say that because people get confused about that type of stuff.
Oh, yeah, they were not the same person.
Yeah.
Hulk comes out off of his fresh off being a Hall of Fame inductee.
Yep.
Makes a save, clears house. Does his taunts for about 35 years. And then, I fucking swear to God, this went on for far too long.
Yeah.
He did his taunts for at least 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then to get to the stage was probably about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He did his pose again, and the American flag dropped up on the Titantron. That took another about 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Relax.
Half the pay-per-view is just Hulk Hogan.
Maybe that's why the women's title match was so short.
It was 4 minutes and 11 seconds long.
Yeah. But yeah, even though I love this though, this was an awesome segment. I gotta say too, the 2005 Hall of Fame class was used very well on this show.
Oh yeah, it was a very, very good segment.
Yeah, that reaction too Hogan got when he came out too was unreal. And obviously too, this opened up like Hogan's like real final run in WWE as like a wrestler, because obviously he would have the match with. Actually, they had the tag team match where he teamed up with Shawn Michaels at Backlash with Muhammad Hassan and Sean Daivari, or with Daivari, I don't know. Yeah, Daivari, as he was being known as, I guess. And then obviously he would have the match with Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam, and then he would have like one final match in WWE with Randy Orton. So, wasn't his final match, unfortunately, but because he had to have that TNA match. So, Hogan still gets pretty good. Obviously because of he used to, because now it's apparently every time he shows up it's controversial. So
controversial.
Yeah, and then obviously Sean Daivari. Someone told me that, I think it was you, that he works as backstage as a producer now, correct?
He's a producer backstage at WWE now.
Yeah,
because with Jeff Jarrett. And,
yeah.
They just brought someone up. Biss and Sanjay Dutt too, also.
Yeah, and then he was out of the company in 2007, and then he went to TNA and tried to do the same gimmick that Muhammad Hassan was doing at the time, which was, I guess, didn't work because he was out of the company not that long afterwards. So either it didn't work or TNA didn't make it work. But I'm gonna guess it's the second one because it was TNA. So
yeah.
And then obviously now he's a producer backstage, and Muhammad Hassan was murdered by the Undertaker, pretty much.
Yeah, because of the London bombings.
Yeah. So they just had the Undertaker say that he was permanently injured. He just came back and had a match just like an indie show recently, though, didn't he? Muhammad Hassan.
Yeah.
And then Eugene has his own wrestling school now, ironically enough, because he was pretty much enhancement talent. Kind of sucks for Eugene that he had to play that gimmick in a way because not really a good. It kind of ruined his career a little bit, but
I mean, it is what it is at that
point. He had some funny stuff though. He was obviously one of the recent victims of the Triple H Golden Shovel too, because his career wasn't the same after that Triple H match at SummerSlam. So, Golden Shovel. Triple H was just like, here's the Golden Shovel. Either you go down the easy way, or I'm putting you down the hard way. And I guess Eugene chose the hard way. So, and I bring up the Triple H Golden Shovel because the next match is an interbranded Legend versus Legend Killer match. Michael Cole and Taz has called this match because I think this was more of a SmackDown feud too, by the way. So.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, and we had.
It was technically kind of on SmackDown at this point.
Yeah, he pretty much was. And then we had Monday Night Raw's Legend Killer Randy Orton versus SmackDown's Legend The Undertaker. No debate about that. So. And obviously, this feud came about.
Should have been Biker Taker.
No, we're not talking about that. We're moving on. Just for that, you're talking about the women's match now. So, yeah.
Yay.
This feud came about because this was pretty much when Randy Orton had he got the Golden Shovel hauled in 2004. I never understood this Randy Orton. They pushed him They forced him up to the main world title picture in 2004. He won the world title and was the youngest world champion ever. And then all of a sudden, Triple H was just like we said, Triple H was like, yeah, I'm gonna stand in your way. He turns on him the night after SummerSlam and pretty much just ruined Randy Orton. He shouldn't have been a babyface. This match proves right here that he shouldn't have been a babyface. And if you think about it, Undertaker pretty much saved Randy Orton's career, I would say, because this feud with Undertaker put Randy Orton back as one of the top guys in the company, pretty much. So
yeah,
you know what? Randy Orton challenged Undertaker to a match at WrestleMania. This was one of the first times too where they went up in storyline that he was undefeated at WrestleMania. Because I know they talked about it in 17, but. This was the first...
they didn't really talk about it all that much until
this was the first time
point really.
Yeah, but this was the first time that they actually said he's undefeated at WrestleMania, and they utilized it as a storyline. So Randy Orton wanted to, and Randy Orton obviously too was going through his Legend Killer gimmick. He killed pretty much every legend that stood in his way, and he wanted to kill the biggest legend at WrestleMania and take the Undertaker's undefeated streak. They did the contract signing on SmackDown where Randy Orton slapped the Undertaker, and that was a mistake by Randy Orton. It's a mistake by the Undertaker to have Randy Orton slap him in the face. That didn't make any sense. But yeah, that was a mistake by Randy Orton because all he did was awaken the beast of the Undertaker. And you don't want to awaken the Randy Orton found out in this match. You don't want to awaken the beast of the Undertaker. So
no, you don't.
And it wasn't the first time he awoke in the beast of the Undertaker either. So Undertaker said he was going to unleash the dragon on Randy Orton. And I especially love that segment with Cowboy Bob Orton, like I said, tying in the Hall of Fame class again too, where he pleaded with the Undertaker not to hurt Randy Orton because he doesn't want to see his son get hurt. But then we found out that it was a trap on SmackDown where Randy Orton attacked the Undertaker with the RKO, and that obviously led us to this match at WrestleMania. And I would say people that Randy Orton actually looked like a strong threat to break the Undertaker's undefeated streak because he looked really strong going into this match. Randy Orton to show that he was even his final heel turn was he RKO'd Stacy Keibler on Monday Night Raw. Just to show how vicious he was for this match with The Undertaker. which obviously, he wasn't as vicious as he is today. So,
Yeah.
But he was still that was still a pretty vicious thing to do. So, but then we had the match itself, and this match was obviously really good. Undertaker had an awesome entrance where he had the Druids come out with him, which were obviously local indie wrestlers. We don't know who it was though. And they did this awesome entrance where Undertaker like is levitating on the ground, like he's like floated into the air. Obviously, he was standing on like some type of structure, but it still looked really awesome. It actually looked like he was floated in the air. So, and we had the match, and I actually thought this was another really good WrestleMania match. Probably one of Randy Orton's best WrestleMania matches. And they start off having the match, and Randy Orton gets the upper hand on the Undertaker at first by hitting the drop kick and the back suplex of Randy Orton. He hits the old school on him, which Randy Orton took actually pretty well. He beats the crap out of him. He hits the guillotine leg drop, which I love that leg drop. Just personal opinion. And then Randy Orton eventually, then Undertaker goes for his big boot in the corner, which I never understand why he goes for that because he misses it every time. So, but maybe he just thinks I can get it this time. So, but I don't think he's ever hit that move in the history of his matches. So, and then Randy Orton knocks Undertaker off the barricade. He targets the head of the Undertaker, hits the neck breaker, but then Undertaker starts to mount a comeback. And then eventually the referee takes a bump, and Undertaker goes for the last ride. He went for it earlier when Randy Orton was punching him in the corner, but Randy Orton jumped over his head and hit a neck breaker on him. But then Undertaker, I think he was supposed to hit it, but Randy Orton like fell or something because I think they messed this spot up. Like Randy Orton like went backwards instead of actually like taking the move. It was really weird. But they tried to recover it by saying like Randy Orton shifted his hips and fell or something. And then Cowboy Bob Orton comes out with the signature cast and blasts the Undertaker over the head with it. And the referee comes to Cowboy Bob Orton puts Randy Orton on Undertaker's body as he's laid out. And he makes the cover. Undertaker kicks out. And then Undertaker sits up. And this scared the crap out of Cowboy Bob Orton and Randy Orton. He goes for the RKO. Undertaker reverses it. He lays out Cowboy Bob Orton with a big boot. And then Undertaker goes for the choke slam on Randy Orton. But Randy Orton counters it into the RKO, which, if you were to ask me, that's probably like the top 5 best RKOs that Randy Orton's ever done. It was definitely an awesome RKO.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
And it was a nice near fall right there, too. And then Randy Orton... Huh?
He took too long to cover him.
Yeah, true. And then Randy Orton goes for the Tombstone Pile Driver. He even does Undertaker's signature chant and does like the Tombstone like thing. And Undertaker reverses it into one himself, hits Randy Orton with the Tombstone, and covers him and gets the win. However, I still think Randy Orton looked awesome coming out of this match. He nearly beat the Undertaker, and probably is like, up until obviously the streak was broken, was like one of the closest ones to ever break his streak and stuff. So I still think Randy Orton looked like a star coming out of this match. But yeah, I still thought it was a really good match. I gave it 3 3/4. What are your thoughts on this match?
I agree. It's just a really, really good match.
Yeah.
Phenomenal match.
And then like I said, this wasn't the last time that Randy Orton provoked the Beast. Well, obviously he provoked the Beast at SummerSlam 2016. Yeah. That didn't get him any. That gotta be.
It actually got his poor little head.
Yeah, but obviously they would continue this feud because Randy Orton was drafted over to SmackDown after this, which was a necessary change for Randy Orton. And
he was kind of already on SmackDown anyway.
Yeah,
to begin with because of the feud, but just made sense for him to be transitioned to SmackDown full time.
Yeah, and they would have there was probably the best. I think it was voted on NoDQ. .com. Don't quote me on this because I don't exactly know. I'd like the best feud of the year was Undertaker versus Randy Orton, but I might be wrong on that. I think it was.
Yeah, on it.
Been
quoted.
Nope, don't quote me on that.
Been quoted.
No, don't quote because I might be wrong.
Been quoted.
But yeah, they would obviously have like a trilogy of matches. Randy Orton would beat Undertaker at SummerSlam, and then they had the casket match where Randy Orton like set the casket on fire and wrote Undertaker off, and Undertaker would come back at Survivor Series after Randy Orton won the match for Team SmackDown. And I still love that visual where like Randy Orton's like the SmackDown hero, and Undertaker just comes out. It's like, yeah, you ain't no hero in my eyes. So
yeah, fucking dead.
He comes out of like the burning casket too. I love that visual.
It's awesome.
And then obviously they would have the blow off match at Armageddon and the Hell in a Cell match where Undertaker would win the feud. But Randy Orton still, this feud, like I said, revitalized his career. Because he definitely needed it after that Triple H debacle. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. It made him look strong, and it made him look like $1 million.
And then obviously he fucked it up himself shortly after that feud because he pretty much was suspended left and right after this. So
yeah.
And that's why I don't think he's going to AEW, because the shit that he does in WWE, he's probably not going to get away with in AEW. So
yeah.
Now you get to talk about a fun match. The reason why
fun. 4 minutes 11 seconds of fun.
Yeah, I don't even need to tell you what the match is, so you can just say the match.
Trish Stratus versus Christy Hemme for the WWE Women's Championship match.
Yeah.
This match fucking sucked balls. This match is fucking terrible. You have an experienced Trish Stratus versus an inexperienced Christy Hemme who couldn't sell for shit.
Yeah.
She was fucking terrible in this match.
Yeah.
God awful. God awful.
I think that was pretty much I think you pretty much just broke down the feud too.
Just shit.
She was like
fucking Lita, who was having knee surgery for this. Horrible. And by the way, that chick kick she got hit with was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
First of all, she didn't sell it right.
Yeah.
Instead of selling it normally, she just flopped down to the fucking mat and got pinned.
Yeah.
It was awful.
I gave it a star and a half, but I think that's too high. I'm going to give it a star and a quarter.
I'm going to give it fucking a half a star.
Ooh, half a star.
It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, it was pretty. So here's what I think happened too. I think because of Lita's injury, because I think this was supposed to be Lita versus Trish Stratus, but obviously because of Lita's injury, they had to go with something else. Anything else would have been better than this. Like, you literally had other women you could have had on the roster have this match. I'm not as mad about this though, because it was like the perfect match to go in between Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels and Undertaker versus Randy Orton. So, but it was still bad. No excuses.
No excuses at all.
Yeah. But it's a star. I'm going to change it right now in my notes. That does not deserve a star and a half. Changing it right now. But then we get the best match on the show, and this actually too, and this actually is right, so you can quote me on this one. This was voted the match of the year in the NoDQ.com year-end awards. It was an inter-branded match. SmackDown's Kurt Angle versus Monday Night Raw's Shawn Michaels. Now, obviously, I don't need to say that because everybody knows Shawn Michaels. I don't think it was ever on SmackDown since the brand split started, but I'm still saying it anyways. So, what a great feud and what a great match. Obviously, the feud started. This actually goes back to our Royal Rumble 2005 when Kurt Angle tried to enter the Rumble to go to WrestleMania, and he was eliminated by Shawn Michaels. And Kurt Angle got pissed, and he beat the crap out of Shawn Michaels after he was eliminated. Like, he was pissed off he was eliminated. And obviously, too, this goes back to, the accolades, because Kurt Angle, when he won the Olympic gold medal in 1996, all people talked about was Shawn Michaels' performance at WrestleMania 12 when he won the WWE Championship. And they were pretty much the two best pure wrestlers of their generation, pretty much. Shawn Michaels was the first ever Triple Crown champion. Kurt Angle obviously held all the same belts. He beat Hall of Famers and stuff. And Kurt Angle just thought he was a superior, better wrestler than Shawn Michaels was. And Shawn Michaels, disguised as a security guard, challenge him to the match at WrestleMania, and this obviously led to the mockery where Kurt Angle would mock Shawn Michaels' accomplishments by defeating his tag team partner, Marty Jannetty, on an episode of SmackDown. They redid the ladder match where he like fought some enhancement talent. And obviously they brought back his old manager, Sherry. And this was where Sexy Kurt came in.
This is Sexy Kurt.
Yeah.
This is just fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And I believe Kurt Angle had like screwed Shawn Michaels out of a match on Raw as well. So this was a pretty damn good feud. And like I said, it was awesome too because this was the first time they've ever wrestled because Kurt Angle was on SmackDown the whole time Shawn Michaels like was on Raw. So they've never wrestled before. Yeah, they never wrestled before. I was trying to think if they had wrestled before, but they hadn't. And this match is just brilliance. Probably one of like the best. If you like one of the top 10 best WrestleMania matches ever. And I obviously love the way it was worked. You have Kurt Angle and like expecting Shawn Michaels to have like his typical style where he just does the brawling style and like the actual, typical Shawn Michaels moves. But Shawn Michaels actually was having like a technical wrestling match with Kurt Angle. Like Shawn Michaels actually was out wrestling Kurt Angle in this match. Like it was insane. And I forgot to mention that Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler commentated this match, which obviously that made sense because I feel like they were the best commentary team to commentate this match because this was more of a Raw feud as well. So, but yeah, Shawn Michaels just continuously gets the upper hand on Kurt Angle. And eventually he just clotheslines him out of the ring. He just starts getting pissed off and goes to put Kurt Angle through the announcer's table. But Kurt Angle counters it. He angle slams him into the post. And he targets the back of Shawn Michaels throughout the rest of this match, which, he had like a lot of backbreakers, tilt-a-whirl backbreakers, German suplexes and stuff like that. But then eventually Shawn Michaels started to mount a comeback. He hit the elbow drop. He went for the Sweet Chin Music. Kurt Angle countered it, went for the ankle lock. Shawn Michaels countered that, and he threw Angle out of the ring. He had a dive on the outside, and then he hit the Kurt Angle went for the German suplex off the apron right through the table. But behind the referee's back, Shawn Michaels low blowed Kurt Angle because Shawn Michaels was in the way. The referee didn't see it. And then Shawn Michaels hit a moonsault right onto Kurt Angle on the table, but the table didn't break because they said that like they put some type of iron steel or something and like double reinforced the table. It was actually pretty cool. And then Kurt Angle hit an angle slam. Shawn Michaels kicked out, and Kurt Angle got Shawn Michaels into the ankle lock like 3 times in this match, and Shawn Michaels got out of it every time. And then Shawn Michaels hit the Sweet Chin Music out of nowhere, and Kurt Angle kicked out of that. But then eventually the finish finally comes where Kurt Angle gets Shawn Michaels in the ankle lock, and he's got him in the submission for like about 3 minutes. And Shawn Michaels does not want to tap out. They tell that whole storyline where he's thinking about tapping, he doesn't tap. But then eventually, like when Kurt Angle finally like grapevines it, and he still doesn't tap like for a good 5 minutes after he's got him out in the grapevine. But when Shawn Michaels finally realizes like he can't get to the ropes, he's not getting out of the submission, he finally taps out, and that was the match. Great match.
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah. It's 4 3/4 stars because it's not 5 stars because I was asking myself if it was a 5-star match. And like I said, if you have to ask yourself, not a 5-star match. So very close, though. Very, very close.
Very close. I agree. Just once Kurt locks in that grapevine, it's all over.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's ever gotten out of it.
I've never seen anyone get out of the grapevine ankle lock before.
I think that's the longest anyone has like ever been in the ankle lock as well, too. In the grapevine version of it, anyways. It was definitely a hell of a match. And then obviously this would lead to the rematch where Shawn Michaels beat him at Vengeance. And then they had the Iron Man match where I don't think anybody won. And then they just randomly ended the feud because Shawn Michaels turned heel and feuded with Hogan. So it kind of sucked we never got like a distinctive ending to this feud. But I guess they had the triple threat too with Cena Taboo Tuesday, and then like the Elimination Chamber where Shawn Michaels eliminated Kurt Angle, but and then Kurt Angle transferred to SmackDown, when he won the world title and stuff. But obviously, like, phenomenal match. Shawn Michaels, retired in 2010 after his match with The Undertaker, and Kurt Angle kind of is still wrestling today. He's more on a part-time basis right now. He was wrestled. He left in 2006, went to TNA, and left in 2016, and returned in 2008. 2017.
Yes, class of 17.
Yeah, and then it was just, like I said, phenomenal match, and awesome. Then we had Piper's Pit with Stone Cold Steve Austin. There was no reason for this. I think they just announced it on Raw, and obviously these were like the two badasses of their generation. Stone Cold Steve Austin was the beer drinking, always going against the boss type in the Attitude Era, and Roddy Piper was obviously in the Hall of Fame too. He was the Hall of Fame class, and he obviously too was the badass of his generation. He, where he would crack people over the head with coconuts and stuff like that. And when they when they got in the ring with each other, it was just magic when they got in the ring with each other. Piper calls out Stone Cold Steve Austin because he does agree that Stone Cold Steve Austin is the baddest son of a bitch in the WWE, but he doesn't think that he no, actually, wait, I worded that one. He thinks he's one of the baddest, but he doesn't think he's the baddest. So as Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out, and Roddy Piper says, "Welcome to Piper's Pit," slaps him in the face, and then Stone Cold Steve Austin, like, he slapped the dog shit out of Roddy Piper. And and he's even like, "Thanks for having me on, you son of a bitch." And then he slapped the dog shit out of him, and Piper's just like, "I think I like you." It was awesome. You can't make that type of stuff up. It was awesome. And then they pretty much have teased that they're gonna go at it. What kind of sucks is it's like one of these dream matches we never really got, unless it happened before Austin became Stone Cold Steve Austin. But Piper had talked about how he thinks he's the baddest son of a bitch in WWE, so they go to have a fight. And who comes out? None other than Carlito, who was just recovering from his surgery and stuff. And he said that Kurt Angle and Roddy Piper are not cool. I like it. I liked it too when his theme song went off and he starts talking like Piper didn't know what was going on. Like, who the hell are you? Like, and they continued their conversation. It's like it's like he didn't even realize his theme song had kicked off and stuff like that too. Like, it was like classic Piper right there. And Carlito said that they need to leave the business to the young guys because that's cool. He takes a bite of it. No, he goes to take a bite of his apple. Roddy Piper rips it out of his hand, and he takes a bunch of bites out of it and completely just murders this apple. And Carlito attacks him. Stone Cold thinks about not doing anything, but then Stone Cold finally saves Piper, and he stomps a mud hole into him. Piper thumbs Carlito in the eyes. Stone Cold Steve Austin hits a stunner on Carlito, and then Stone Cold Steve Austin and Piper celebrate afterwards. And then afterwards, Stone Cold Steve Austin finally just gives Piper the stunner and leaves. It was a great segment, awesome stuff. And it was a definitely perfect segment too, because this was a perfect way to kind of follow that great Kurt Angle Shawn Michaels match too. So, what were your thoughts on this?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because you're just kind of
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I mean, it's too many segments though.
Yeah. And then you have obviously Stone Cold Steve Austin's doing the same thing that he was probably doing then because he was pretty much out of the company at this point. So, you always am I the only one that forgets when you see Piper that wow, he's dead? Because I'm the only because it doesn't feel real that he's not alive anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he kind of
Dusty, fucking Eddie, don't even fit if they passed on.
Yeah. Like Piper more so because he was still his death was like so unexpected in a way. So.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Eddie's was unexpected too, but he had also like Piper. It's only been like not even a little over 3 years. But now you get to have some fun. You get to talk about
don't even make me have fun. I don't want to. This is not fun. This is not fun.
I think you know what match is next.
We have a barn burner, a 5-star, 30-minute classic. Aki Bono, the sumo wrestler, who eventually wanted to become a professional wrestler, in a sumo match against The Big Show. They spent the majority of the time sizing each other up, and then when they finally get down to the sumo match, Big Show loses. He lost. Yeah. And he got embarrassed. Ha, yeah. Ha, 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 ha. 0 stars.
A quarter star.
It's 0. None. Yeah. Zippo.
We gotta give it some type of star rating.
Zippo.
You didn't even mention why the match was happening. Like,
no one cares. Zippo.
I don't know what. Like, I guess they wanted to get Big Show on the show, but like, could you find like a better match than this? Like, do like I don't know, Big Show versus Orlando. I mean, it's not like if anything would have been better. It's not like it's like but like Big Show versus Orlando Jordan for the U.S. title. Yeah, that's not exactly an appealing match either, but it would have been better than this. Like,
yeah,
just shit. Crap. And I guess Aki Bono. Like, what benefit did they kind of serve having Aki Bono win too?
Nothing, because it was his only appearance.
Yeah. He did continue wrestling like in New Japan and Pro Wrestling Noah and Dragon Gate and stuff. I don't know why, but he did.
He just did.
And Big Show still is like almost retired. He's pretty much probably retiring within the next couple of years, I would guess. So, this wasn't the last time too. Big Show was embarrassed at WrestleMania. I don't think it was the first time either. So, yeah, not fun. Just not fun. Like half of the thing too was them doing like the traditional sumo things that they do or whatever. And I'm just kind of like the stuff that they would describe. Like Michael Cole said, we got to make sure like the win's like pure and secure. Like how pure and secure it's gonna get. You just had like a bloodbath with like a Money in the Bank ladder match. Like Undertaker just wrestled like Randy Orton on the show. Like you had guys in there drinking beer. Like come on, you don't need any.
You don't need that shit.
Yeah. You know what? I'm giving it -2 stars.
Awful.
Yeah. I'll talk about this one because it's almost as bad. We have the WWE Championship match. WWE Champion JBL versus John Cena. This match also sucked. We'll just say, too, the last 3 matches on this show is what keeps it from an A grade in my book. I don't really have a book. I just say that. So,
I want to see that book.
Maybe I'll show you. So, yeah, the feud wasn't bad. You know, JBL, this was like his, 10-month reign as WWE champion. He was like the longest champion in SmackDown up until last year. And obviously they did this because they didn't have any heroes on SmackDown. While JBL wasn't one of the best champions, he wasn't one of the worst. He was not the best in the ring, but I thought his promos weren't bad, so that's just my opinion. And like I said, you know...
He just cheated a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty much... He would cheat his way. And I like the video package, how he talks about how he's like this great honorable champion, when it actually isn't true. It showed like all the stuff that he did to cheat to retain the championship and stuff, so... But then you had John Cena, who was obviously being built up to win the title. He had been like a 3-time U.S. champion. And he was like one of the final 2 in the Royal Rumble match. John Cena also had won the tournament to become the #1 contender So, JBL screwed him out of the WWE, no, not the WWE title, the US title, and destroyed like his custom spinner US championship. So John Cena wanted to get his hands on JBL, and Teddy Long wasn't going to let that happen. And he told JBL that if John Cena laid a hand on him, JBL would the match would be off at WrestleMania. Because obviously I think Teddy Long wanted to protect his match at WrestleMania, his like main event match at Mania, which, considering how the match turned out, I think he regrets that decision to this day. So, and yeah, but also, so JBL would try to goat John Cena into attacking him, but he was also told that if JBL attacked Cena, Cena could strike back. So JBL would try to go JBL and attacking him by trashing his limousine, spray painting like his clothes and stuff like that. So eventually, JBL had Cena handcuffed, and this was on the Go Home edition of SmackDown too, because obviously because obviously then Cena couldn't retaliate. I guess. I mean, it's not like Cena. But that kind of doesn't make any sense if you think about it, because what was stopping Cena from like going to his freaking hotel room and fucking attacking him and stuff?
Oh, I know, yeah.
That doesn't really make any sense if you think about it, but yeah, JBL like attacked him, and it led to this match. There's a lot of problems with this match, and we've talked about one of them for like since we've known each other. JBL, his whole title reign. By the way, he had an awesome entrance too, where he had like the police escort accompanying him to the ring, and like the dollar signs with like JBL's face on it and stuff. Well, not the dollar signs, but the dollar bills. But yeah, one problem is throughout the whole title reign, JBL needed the cabinet to help him retain the title. What does he do in this match? He tells the cabinet to go backstage. That was problem number one in this match. That made no sense at all, because that wasn't what JBL was as a champion. It would have made sense like if they had, and also too, with how like intense this feud was, why wasn't it like no disqualifications too?
No, it's just a normal standard singles match.
Yeah, I thought that hindered the match, because obviously the match at Judgment Day was a lot better because of it. So the I Quit match that they had should have been right here. And then so they have the match, and it was just a match you would have seen probably on not even SmackDown, a house show probably. And it was for the WWE Championship, and JBL dominates. Cena makes his comeback, hits the FU, that's what it was called at the time, and wins. Now, obviously, you could say this protects his finish, but here's my problem. This was a guy that had the championship for 10 months, and it took one FU for him to lose the championship. It's like, what the hell is that? Like,
it should have been like 3.
Yeah, or 2 at least. This match was just crap. It is a significant match to go back and watch, because this is like, the rise of John Cena, but I don't even think you have to watch it. Just go find like the clip of when he wins the championship, and then you're good. So, because you can probably find it online now, actually, with like, all of Cena's world title wins, and it will show it to you. So that's actually, you don't even need to watch this match, actually. And Cena afterwards celebrates with the fans. And I don't know, it doesn't even like feel like a big win, because the match was just so bad too. So it's like, it wasn't like this big championship win that like, they wanted you to make it feel. And yeah, this match just was bad. I gave it a star and a quarter. So is that. I might say 1 star actually now. So, yeah, no quarter, just 1 star. Any additional thoughts you have about this match?
1.5.
Yeah. Why 1.5?
I don't know. Just 1.5. Just doesn't deserve the full 2nd star.
Okay. And then obviously this led to the I Quit match, which was a million times better than this one. So
it's just a bland match.
Yeah. And then this is pretty much everything after. John Cena's first title win was very significant, but it's also where everything went wrong for Cena, because everyone booed him right after not right after, but like, this is like one of the times John Cena should have turned heel too, was during this first championship reign, because his character got very stale right after. He stopped doing the Thugonomics stuff too right after this too. So, and then obviously too with this, I don't know if this was the first time, but was this the first time that he used the theme song that he had now? Or had he?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that album had just come out and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I
and
think
obviously,
he used it on the Go Home show, and he used it. The first time he used it was on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and then JBL pretty much he would never be he would obviously have like a world title match here and there, but he never hold the world title again. He retired for like a year and came back randomly and wrestled again and then retired again. So
yeah, he said like he had a really bad concussion.
Yeah,
that's why he retired. It was pretty fucking severe.
Yeah, and then he did hold the U.S. title the next year, but and then obviously now he's a part-time commentator pretty much. You'll see him here and there. I think we'll probably will see him commentate one match of probably at WrestleMania this year.
For sure, definitely.
Yeah, like Ken, we'll see Ken commentate a match this year. Which I don't know.
Probably the main event.
Yeah, if Ken does commentate, don't do that 4-man commentary team because that made his commentary look really bad. So, and obviously John Cena pretty much has been the face of the company up until 2016, I would say, maybe 2017.
Yeah, like 17ish.
Yeah,
like late 16, like end of 16 into 17.
Apparently, he thinks it's more important to go host Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader than to show up and hype up WrestleMania too. So, yeah, it's really weird too. You would think too after seeing John Cena like with his haircut now, it would be weird for me to watch a match with him like this, but it really isn't that weird to me for some reason. So, like when I go back and watch like Triple H wrestle, it's weird for me to see him wrestle because it's weird to see him with the long hair now. But yeah, I just don't really find it that weird to see Cena wrestle like this and his haircut now. So, really doesn't look different to me. So
no, it doesn't.
Then we had the Hall of Fame class, which I don't know. You can fight me on this, but this probably was the best Hall of Fame class ever because it was just very star-studded. I believe the Hall of Fame class was Nikolai Volkov, the Iron Sheik, which we know about that speech. That's a very famous speech today. And obviously, he cut a very famous promo at an indie show that we know of now. So, it was Nikolai Volkov, Iron Sheik, Hulk Hogan, Bob Orton, Piper, and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. So, yeah. I believe Iron Sheik is somehow still alive. I haven't. That's still a mystery to me to this day.
Yeah.
Hogan's still alive. Cowboy Bob Orton's still alive. Actually, a lot of these wrestlers are still alive today. So. Makes me kind of happy because a lot of people get sad because like a lot of wrestlers from the 80s are like dead. So, yeah. And now I'll let you break down the main event, which obviously you know what it is, so I don't even need to say what it is.
Batista versus Triple H.
You can break down why it's happening and the match itself.
Batista and Triple H were allies in Evolution for a very long time. He was the muscle of the group. Every time Triple H got into trouble, Batista was there. But right around late 2004, right around summertime 2004,
yeah,
it's when they tried to test the waters with the babyface Batista, where he was showing signs of moving on from Evolution and challenging Triple H, but it wasn't to be. He didn't end up betraying Triple H.
Yeah. I even where they dedicated a Raw where they seem you might remember this Raw because you watched it as a kid and stuff, but I remember because I went and watched for YouTube clips of it where they dedicated a whole Raw acting like they were gonna finally do it, and it was all a big swerve. They just it
was a big swerve. He ended up turning on him.
But then
I was so pissed.
Yeah. And then obviously you had that Evolution, the New Year's Revolution match where they tried to tease it again, where Triple H didn't help Batista, prevent him from getting eliminated and stuff. So, yeah.
And they really spent all of 2004 teasing Evolution was going to break up.
Yeah. Because I think Batista started getting suspicious once Randy Orton was kicked out of the group for winning the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
Well, it really should have been the opposite, but neither here or there. And then it just shows too that how well too even in 2005 WWE did long-term booking because
it's really long-term booking.
Because typically the only way they do it now is because the most recent one was WrestleMania 33 when it was a Triple H feud too, but the only reason it was so long was because he was a part-timer at the time. So,
yeah.
I guess, yeah.
So, going into the Rumble, Triple H was trying to get Batista to go to SmackDown if he won, so that Evolution could hold all of the two main world titles. And Batista ends up winning the Royal Rumble, and they spent the next few weeks trying to convince him to go to SmackDown.
They even didn't they even put on a hit or something where they made it look like it was JBL's limousine or something that ran over.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it comes down to, I think it was a few weeks before WrestleMania, on an episode of Raw where Batista had to make up his mind who he was going to choose. He looks at both and he throws down the SmackDown one, and he kept the Raw one, and he just obliterates fucking Triple H and Ric Flair. He puts Triple H through the table and signs the contract for a match against Triple H at WrestleMania to an absolutely thunderous ovation.
Yeah, I actually even love to. He actually teased he was going to sign the SmackDown one. He does the thumbs up, and with Triple H and Ric Flair doing the thumbs up, yeah, and then Batista just puts the thumb down, no, I'm going after your championship,
that was an awesome moment. That was that fucking blew the roof off the building.
Yeah,
everyone wanted Batista to be a babyface at that point in time.
Yeah,
they've been building it for so long. He was getting fucking thunderous pops.
Yeah,
by midway through 2004.
Yeah.
And everyone thought it was going to happen in 2004, but it didn't happen.
I think this was the good amount of time to wait.
Oh yeah, they definitely did. They picked the right time.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's a decent match.
Yeah.
Nothing spectacular.
But I'll say this: it's definitely the best Triple H match he's had in the main event of WrestleMania, which is not saying much, but
yeah. But it's a decent match. Batista wins.
Yeah.
He wins his first world title.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it.
And obviously too, because I always go back because it was that fortunate SmackDown 4 that all walked out with some type Rey Mysterio beat Eddie Guerrero in the opening match. Edge won the Money in the Bank. Cena won the WWE Championship. Batista won the World Heavyweight Championship. So, but I agree. And obviously, too, Triple H had Motorhead perform his song, too, when he came down to the ring. Yeah. I was even thinking, when was the last time that's happened, where a concert played somebody out? I don't think that's happened.
That has to be it.
I don't recall that happening last year. The last time I remember was for Randy Orton's song in
Bray Wyatt.
Oh, Bray Wyatt, yeah, in WrestleMania 31, yeah, actually. So it's been a while. It's been a few years. So I hope they do it this year. But yeah, I always noticed too. This was very symbolic, in a way, because I think everyone was probably scared. Because even though everyone's okay, yeah, Batista's clearly gonna win this match, but everyone doesn't know. This was that reign of terror for Triple H type of thing. Triple H easily could have won this match.
Yeah.
And because everyone thought Booker T was winning the world title at WrestleMania 19, it didn't happen. So, but I also kind of look at it symbolic because this was finally the end of that awful reign of terror that Triple H had on Raw.
It was fucking the stranglehold
Yeah.
On that title and on the main event scene.
I even think of it too, like Triple H, when he tries to hit Batista with the sledgehammer and he grabs it and breaks it, it's like symbolic of him breaking that golden shovel of Triple H.
Yeah.
Like
it just finally put an end.
Yeah.
To a reign, a reign of terror, which is looked upon very fondly.
Yeah.
And despised by all.
I think it wasn't fully over, but it because obviously he would still have his moments, but this was like the end of like when of like his true reign of terror on Raw. Like it was just
with Triple H basically he left for a little bit and then came back, had that random feud with Ric Flair.
Well, also too they had like a trilogy of matches where I have a feeling too, like even like Batista, like he put over like Batista hard. Like Batista beat him 3 times. He beat him at Backlash, and then he beat him at the Vengeance in the Hell in a Cell match. Like he really put Batista on the map at this time.
Yeah. But that made him go away for a little while though.
Yeah.
And then he came back at Homecoming.
Yeah.
And to team up with Ric Flair, everyone thought that Evolution was fine because Ric Flair was a babyface at this point in time. And they thought, Evolution would come back as babyfaces and whatnot, and Triple H just turns on him, and they have a random feud for no fucking reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Just completely just random ass feud that everyone forgets about.
I think that should have been instead of like when they brought back Shawn Michaels with DX, they should have turned Triple H face right when he came back instead of teasing like he was gonna go face.
Yeah, and then the following year they reunited DX, and that basically started a long time face run for Triple H, where he would go on to be the top babyface.
Yeah.
From 2006 to 2013.
Yeah. Well, really, really the top babyface though, I would say from 2006 to like 2010, I would say. Because
are you going out with Paul tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. Because dinner with Rachel and
Okay.
But yeah, I would say like, and then Batista. This was like the start of his big push. He went on to SmackDown, and Cena went to Raw. And they were like the top guys on their brands. And Batista was there. He would, he probably was a babyface too long, but when he finally turned heel in 2010, that was awesome.
Yeah.
In a way, this match, this show, even though they knew they weren't going there, set up Batista versus Cena, very well, like when they had their feud in 2008 and 2010 and stuff. So
yeah,
we almost got this match again. There's still a chance we're probably gonna get this match this year at WrestleMania if it's if Batista can like fill in the dates and stuff, and Triple H can go, so we don't know.
Yeah.
And obviously Ric Flair today is retired, so but that was WrestleMania 21. Only took us like about a little over an hour and a half to talk about it, so that was good.
Yeah. Usually
Huh?
We usually fly through them.
Yeah.
It's only one fucking show that we have to talk about.
Yeah. Now it's time to give the letter grades for WrestleMania 21. We're gonna start with you since it was your pick.
I give it a B. B+.
I agree with that. B+. It would have been an A, but the last 3 matches on the show, like this probably easily would have been. It probably still is like one of the best WrestleManias, but this probably could have been like top 3, top 5 if it wasn't for the last 3 matches on the card. So
yeah, it was very lackluster bottom half of the card.
Yeah. Like if that big show Aki Bono match didn't exist and stuff, but yeah, definitely a B+ show. Now it's time for me to do my pick. So I picked a different show. I didn't necessarily pick a WrestleMania or anything else like that. Next week, literally next week actually. I know it's already kind of out because it's been released to other theaters, but I think for us it comes out next week. Fighting with My Family's coming out. And obviously this movie is based off the documentary that came out like in 2012. So I decided, since it technically qualifies as a show that we can review, I decided that we're going to review Fighting with My Family, the documentary. Just because I want to see the documentary. But that review probably won't take very long because it's the whole thing's like 45 minutes or so. So
like 45 minutes.
Yeah. So next week we're gonna do something different and review a documentary next week because I might go because this is like one of those films I kind of want to see because I hear like critics are like raving this movie, which I don't know how reliable that is because I don't know how many critics are like wrestling fans and stuff. So, but yeah, that's gonna be my pick. We're gonna do Fighter with My Family. I would like to get it up before next week because that's when the movie comes out. But we can work around that. So, yeah, that's pretty much the end of this Retro Wrestling Review series. Now we're going to do our plugs and promotion. Do you have anything you want to plug or promote, Chris Dodd?
Well, it's more of a promotion, but tomorrow we'll be doing our wrestling rundown. It's not gonna be as fucked up as it was last week.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because it didn't
come out tomorrow night, probably ish.
Yes. Probably like around tomorrow night, or it depends on when we record it, obviously, because we got to work around that. What time can you record it?
Afternoon is good.
Okay.
Because if you want to get it up by night, we should probably do it by like 3.
All right, we'll do it afternoon. Yeah, but check
afternoon,
that out.
2, 3.
Also check out my CM Brothers YouTube channel. There's actually going to be a wrestling video on there for once. Me and my cousin, AJ, who's never watched wrestling before, he's going to try to predict the matches at Elimination Chamber this Sunday. What we're going to do is we're going to see how that goes. Because I know people do that sometimes, so I wanted to try it. So what's going to happen is he has to do based off looks. Like, no, he can't know any of the storylines. So let's see. I might suck worse than I might get most of the picks wrong because I notice sometimes the people that know nothing about wrestling sometimes get the predictions right because they're not overthinking it as much as we are. So
yeah, we're way overthinking it.
Yeah. So I'll let you. That video probably will be up today because we're going to record some videos right after I get this up. And also, we're going to review Breaking Bad Season 5, Episode 1 on the Owen the Talkinator channel. On the Owen the Talkinator channel, there won't be a Walking Dead review on Monday because Elimination Chamber got in the way of that. So, yeah. There's a lot of Elimination Chamber.
Even better.
Well, I got to watch, though, like, the Cruiserweights be left off the main card. Just... What if I miss the show? It doesn't matter because it doesn't mean jack squat to the WWE. I could miss like 30 shows and they wouldn't care. So,
no, they would. They personally call you up.
Well, they did throw Vince McMahon back on. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. We will talk to you guys